Okay, welcome back, fourth and fifth graders. Again, this is a read aloud for Skellig. We already did the introduction. We discussed it. We talked about it. We read the inside flap here, and let's now get into the book. Okay, my mind's ready to read. It's by David Almond. I do know that this book does take place in England, so sometimes I will be using an English accent. Almost like Peppa Pig. Okay, chapter 1. Chapters do not have any titles. They're just numbered. I found him in the garage on a Sunday afternoon. It was the day after we moved into Falconer Road. The winter was ending. Mom had said we'd be moving just in time for the spring. Nobody else was there, just me. The others were inside the house with Dr. Death, worrying about the baby. He was lying there in the darkness behind the tea chests, in the dust and dirt. It was as if he'd been there forever. He was filthy and pale and dried out, and I thought he was dead. I couldn't have been more wrong. I'd soon begin to see the truth about him, and that there'd never been another creature like him in the world. We called it the garage because that's what the real estate agent, Mr. Stone, called it. It was more like a demolition site or a rubbish dump or like one of those ancient warehouses they keep pulling down at the wharf. Stone led us down the garden, tucked the door open, and shined his little flashlight into the gloom. We shoved our heads in at the doorway with him. "You ought to see it with your mind's eye," he said. "See it cleaned with new doors and the roof repaired. See it as a wonderful two-car garage." He looked at me with a stupid grin on his face. "Or something for you, lad. A hidden hideaway for you and your pals. What about that, eh?" I looked away. I didn't want anything to do with him. All the way round the house it had been the same. Just see it in your mind's eye. Just imagine what can be done. All the way round, I kept thinking of the old man, Ernie Myers, that had lived here on his own for years. He'd been dead nearly a week before they found him under the table in the kitchen. That's what I saw when Mr. Stone told us about seeing with the mind's eye. He even said it when we got to the dining room, and there was an old cracked toilet sitting there in the corner behind a plywood screen. I just wanted him to shut up, but he whispered that toward the end, Ernie couldn't manage the stairs. His bed was brought in here, and a toilet was put in, so everything was easy for him. Mr. Stone looked at me like he didn't think I should know about such things. I wanted to get out, to get back to our old house again, but Mom and Dad took it all in. They went on like it was going to be some big adventure. They bought the house. They started cleaning it and scrubbing it and painting it. Then the baby came, too early, and here we were. Okay, so that was a short chapter. Chapter 2 is starting. So let me just review what has happened so far in chapter 1. Michael is telling the story, first person point of view. So we're really going to learn a lot about Michael. Right here, he says, "I found him in the garage." I know that Michael is the main character, and he is telling the story. So he's telling about right before they bought the house. He didn't really like the house. He didn't want to buy that house. He wanted to go back to his old house. It was dirty, but the real estate agent, Mr. Stone, who was trying to sell them the house, kept saying, "Oh, you could do such wonderful things to this house." And the parents did buy this house on Falconer Road. They saw that there was this garage, and it was all dirty and dusty and looked like it was going to fall over, but they still bought it, and his parents were excited to buy it and to redo it and to change it to make it how they wanted to. But then the mother must have been pregnant, and then the baby came too soon. So we have a big problem there. Okay, we've already hit our conflict. So tomorrow, I hope you stay tuned for chapter 2. It's a great book. I hope you're intrigued by it, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Okay, stay well. I miss you. Take care.